In mid-October 2025, Queensland, Australia, experienced an extreme weather phenomenon that surprised many. Sudden and intense hailstorms that struck several cities and outback areas. This event occurred amidst the spring transition, typically marked by rising temperatures and humidity. However, this time it was characterized by highly active convective cloud formation, triggered by the interaction between warm surface air and a cold air mass from the south carried by a low-pressure system from the Southern Ocean. This hailstorm event was recorded sporadically between October 15th and 19th, with its highest intensity on October 17th, when areas of Brisbane, Toowoomba, and the surrounding Sunshine Coast reported golf ball-sized hailstorms, causing significant damage to vehicles, roofs, crops, and public infrastructure. According to a report from the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, BOM, a supercell thunderstorm system that formed over the highlands of southeastern Queensland was the primary trigger for the hailstorms. These supercells developed rapidly due to strong vertical wind shear and high atmospheric humidity, creating ideal conditions for the formation of large hailstones within cumulonimbus clouds. When the hailstones failed to melt before reaching the ground, hailstorms occurred with extraordinary intensity. Meteorologists noted that surface temperatures reaching 29 to 30 degrees Celsius during the day, combined with sudden cooling in the upper atmosphere, created extreme temperature gradients that amplified vertical dynamics within storm clouds. In Brisbane, the capital of Queensland, residents were startled by the loud crashing sound of large hailstones hitting the roofs of homes and vehicles. Many filmed the incident and shared it on social media, showing roads covered in a layer of white ice, damaged trees, and shattered car windows. The city government immediately issued an emergency warning, urging residents to stay indoors, avoid unnecessary travel, and protect their property as much as possible. Emergency services received more than 1,200 calls within 24 hours, mostly related to property damage and minor accidents caused by slipping on icy roads. In inland areas like Toowoomba and Warwick, hailstorms caused extensive damage to agricultural land, particularly vegetable and orchard fields that were entering the harvest season. Farmers reported significant losses due to destroyed crops and damaged irrigation systems. The state government immediately dispatched damage assessment teams and promised emergency assistance to affected farmers. On the Sunshine Coast, the hail also disrupted power and communications networks, with more than 15,000 homes experiencing power outages for more than 12 hours. Engineers worked through the night to restore power, while residents used generators and candles to survive. The hailstorm also impacted transportation, with several flights to and from Brisbane Airport delayed or cancelled due to safety concerns. Major highways such as the Bruce Highway and Warrego Highway experienced extensive traffic congestion due to damaged vehicles and fallen trees. Traffic police and firefighters worked together to clear roads and assist stranded motorists. In the education sector, several schools in the affected areas chose to temporarily close and switch to online learning to ensure the safety of students and staff. Climate scientists from the University of Queensland stated that this hailstorm was one of the most extreme in the past decade and was likely influenced by changes in global climate patterns that are increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events in Australia. They emphasized the importance of investing in early warning systems and weather-resilient infrastructure to address future challenges. The Queensland state government also announced plans to strengthen disaster mitigation systems, including increasing weather radar capacity, training communities, and building emergency shelters in vulnerable areas. In the days following the event, Queensland began to recover, although a full recovery process is expected to take weeks. Residents worked together to clean up their communities, repair homes, and assist affected neighbors. Community solidarity was evident, with many local organizations and volunteers stepping in to provide food, clean water, and emergency supplies. Local and national media outlets continued to report on the situation, providing vital information and highlighting inspiring stories from residents demonstrating resilience and a spirit of community. The long-term impacts of the extreme hailstorms that struck Queensland are expected to impact various sectors of community life, infrastructure, and government policies in a lasting way. Extensive damage to agricultural land, particularly horticultural crops and orchards, disrupted local and regional food supply chains, leading to sharp price increases for agricultural commodities such as tomatoes, strawberries, and leafy greens in the months following the event. Farmers who suffered significant losses face challenges in restoring their land, replacing crops, and repairing damaged irrigation systems, with agricultural productivity expected to decline until the next harvest season. Economically, damage to property, vehicles, and public infrastructure led to a significant surge in insurance claims, putting pressure on the insurance industry and increasing the risk of future premium increases. Many small businesses, particularly shops and restaurants in affected areas, experienced operational disruptions due to physical damage and power outages, slowing local economic recovery and requiring financial support from the state government. Conversely, the Queensland government faced pressure to increase its disaster management budget and accelerate the construction of weather-resilient infrastructure, including drainage systems, roof protection, and community shelters. Socially, this event heightened public awareness of the importance of extreme weather preparedness, encouraging increased participation in disaster drills, evacuation drills, and the use of early warning apps. However, the psychological trauma experienced by some residents, particularly children and the elderly who were directly exposed to the hail, required special attention in the form of counseling and community support services. In the education sector, damage to school facilities and the disruption of learning during the recovery period encouraged the wider adoption of online and flexible learning systems. Environmentally, the intense hailstorm caused damage to natural vegetation, wildlife habitat, and soil quality, disrupting the balance of local ecosystems and requiring a long recovery time. Several bird and insect species reportedly experienced population declines due to the destruction of shelter and food sources. Politically, this event provided momentum for the Australian government to strengthen regulations related to climate change adaptation, including revising building standards, incentivizing weather forecasting technology, and integrating risk mitigation into spatial planning. Overall, the hailstorm that struck Queensland in mid-October 2025 served as a stark reminder of the importance of extreme weather preparedness. This event not only caused material losses, but also opened the eyes of many to the need for climate change adaptation and increased community capacity to cope with disasters. Governments, scientists, and communities are now faced with the challenge of building more resilient, inclusive, and responsive systems to increasingly complex natural hazards. Amidst global climate uncertainty, Queensland demonstrates that with collaboration and resilience, communities can recover and learn from each storm,